Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
We're putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard and weekly pay produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it's good morning from the Concrete Gang, a bright-eyed and a bushy-tailed, and most of all, looking forward to the Christmas break. Good morning, Colin.
Good morning, Warren.
Good morning, Gorilla.
Good morning, listeners out there.
Good morning, Buzzer.
No buzzer.
No buzzer. Well, Christmas came early. Yes, indeed, you're listening to the Concrete Gang in a buzzer-free zone this Sunday morning, Community Radio 3CR 855 on your AM dial. And at the picnic, we will be handing out stickers and that, so you can put them on your hard hats, and make sure you remind yourself how to listen to the Concrete Gang, because it's damn well worth listening to, isn't it, boys?
And fridge magnets.
Oh, and fridge magnets. Indeed.
Fantastic.
So your missus can look up 8:55 on the AM dial.
9:30 on a Sunday.
I've just trained mine how to push the button that gets it onto AM.
I'll tell you what, I've spent, I reckon, $5,500 in radios. I still can't get it in Port Melbourne. What's going on there, mate?
I still listen to the Concrete Gang on a tranny.
His money is easily bloody short-changed, I tell you
A
what.
fool in his money.
Anyway, let's talk about some serious stuff, because unfortunately this week has been serious. We did have a fatality in Victoria only a couple of weeks ago, and the funeral is going to be this weekend out at Scoresby. And if people would like to get the details, just ring in to the office and the details will be available. Also, delegates are being given the details of Carlos's funeral. And that was a great tragedy, but in Western Australia it has been an absolutely horrendous week with 3 fatalities in less than 48 hours. In first fatality was in relation to
precast panels. And
yes, a favourite of ours.
Regrettably in Perth this week, 2 young Irish backpackers having a bit of smoko, sitting on the curb with 8 of their mates, having a quiet smoke. Were crushed by a precast panel. The truck had pulled up. The rigging crew had seen that the panels had been delivered out of sequence. So they unstrapped them, as you do. Didn't secure the ones they didn't want. Unfortunately, the trailer was on a bit of a camber, as they often are when the road tapers into the gutter, and the panels on the roadside fell off the side of the truck. Two of them leaned up against a column, which was a gantry on the job, and unfortunately the front one fell on top of the two young blokes having a bit of smoko. Absolutely disgusting accident. Shouldn't happen. But there you go. Once again, precast panels, extremely dangerous.
And the builder on the job, a mob called Jackson, I think it's spelled Jaxson, have been the subject of quite a few visits from the union in Western Australia because health and safety was not one of Jackson's high points of performance. They had been subject to continual criticism, particularly in relation to precast and what happens in the Crane Bay and so on. They didn't want to do nothing about it, and unfortunately, despite constant calls to the health and safety regulator, they never got there either. Well, they had to come after the fatalities, and I think that's the first time they've appeared in quite some weeks of constant complaint and problems. So the West Australian branch are suitably pissed off with the regulatory authority, and obviously it has had a traumatic effect on the industry in Western Australia. And then to follow that up with an additional fatality with some scaffolders doing maintenance work in Kwinana, at the Alcoa plant in Kwinana. Bloke fell to his death. He's fallen probably over 10 metres inside a vessel. Don't know all the details, but it was a fatality that should not have happened. None of these things should have happened.
And we can only we've been discussing this last couple of weeks on the Concrete Gang this time of year. The builders run the pressure and they pass the pressure on to the workers, push, and this is when accidents start happening. I suppose if we ever did a check-up on when most accidents happen, it'd be probably this time of the year, because obviously they've got unrealistic dates to meet and put the pressure on the workers. So if you're out there and they're getting pushed and excessive overtime and all that, ring up the union, because we don't want anyone getting hurt before Christmas. And there's two Irish backpackers. I mean, that's going to be the worst Christmas of all time for their families back in Ireland, I suppose, and so they get the message that their sons are being squashed by a precast panel. So it's just all about taking care, slow down a bit and be safe.
I think there's one lesson that definitely has to be learnt out of this incident, and it's a lesson that has been taught before, that if panels arrive on your site and they are out of sequence, send the whole truck back. Get them reloaded in proper sequence back at the yard, where they have got the capacity to rack them, have got the capacity with the overhead cranes and so on to actually do the job in a far more organised and controlled way than what happens in the crane bay of a job. I think the riggers probably are responsible for the unloading of those particular precast panels, are now thinking to themselves, why the hell did we ever do it that way? Doesn't take much. A concrete panel on its edge can soon be out of balance, and over she comes. So if they come out of sequence, rechain them and send them back.
Absolutely, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that at all. Send it back, get them restacked, and then brought back to the job. It's the only way to do it. Only way to do it.
And if the boss tells you that's illegal industrial action, you tell him it's health and safety, and you can go tell Nigel Hatchkes where to go for his Christmas. Anyway, let's talk about something a little bit more cheerful, though it is hard. That is the picnic. The picnic is coming up tomorrow week, the 7th of December. Seems a bit late, doesn't it, the 7th of September, but that's what happens.
Yep.
We have got, as always...
December.
December. I stand correction.
What did you say?
September.
Oh, that...
Ooh.
Bit of fatigue, bit of fatigue.
See, folks, the message about concentrating is very important. Okay, 7th of December, we are having the picnic, and it will be at Caulfield, it will be at Geelong, it will be at all the usual places, except for Albury-Wodonga and Mildura, which is a week later on the 14th. And the picnic is bigger, better than ever. Santa's
Magical Kingdom.
Magical Kingdom, the Ride of Death, and God knows what is happening. It's going to be an absolute extravaganza at Caulfield.
That's not the snake charmer again, is it?
No.
No, it's Buzzer driving his car around. Yes, indeed. So make sure you've got your tickets. It's $40. That's an adult and 4 kids.
Yep.
You can get in for $40. Singles, $40, because, boys, the rates of pay in their industry at the moment, you can afford $40. And it is a damn fine day for the industry to enjoy, and it's something that the federal government and their number one standover merchant, Nigel Hadgkiss, would like to take office. So make sure you're there at one of the picnics and enjoy the day and drive home safe. Now, we come to the Piece Resistance.
Drum roll. We haven't got a drum roll? No, we haven't got one. Yes, the competition. It's time to announce the winner. We've been up all night sorting through the entries. I think
which is why Buzzer is so tight he had to have a day off.
We had to burn the candle last night. We've gone through them.
With a bit of controversy.
There's a bit of controversy. There's been a couple of red herrings thrown in, but we have to admit, we mentioned Bob Mancourt come up with a good one about Joe Hill, and that's been noted. And there was a few others. What was the other one we had? I'm not getting much help from my assistants here, just looking like
we're tired.
Well, you're tired.
We've been up all night.
Well, there was various suggestions about music and chanting and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But a lot of them were pretty crap, really. But there's a couple of fantastic ones.
One of them, who can go nameless, but was at the branch meeting, suggested that we podcast the show, and I told him we'd been doing it for over 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway, cheerio to Johnny R out there, mate. We're podcasting. Get onto it. It'll make you happy.
So we've nailed it down, and we've given to one of our favourite old time critics, Brother Reed, Uncle Reedy,
who has actually sent in more than one entry.
He has, and he's nailed it because he's shit canned me and Buzzer again. I think. Did he? Well, he didn't really. It was sort of.
He was less than fulsome in his praise.
Nonetheless, I still think it was constructive.
No, hang on. He's won the prize. I mean, he's won the prize. We're not scared of a bit of a criticism here on the Concrete Gang Rabbit. You might have to harden up a bit, mate. So he has...
Sticks and stones.
No, he has...
Watch out, there's another criticism coming through now.
There's a late entry. Sorry, but bad luck. So, Reedy, you're the man. You've won it, and you've won a $100 voucher to our sponsor, which is the Palace Hotel in Bay Street, South Melbourne. It's $100 worth of food and drink, so I reckon Reedy's the right man for that, and he could knock that over himself, couldn't he, Reedy, on Pat Malone?
He'll probably throw in another 100 for himself as well. Anyway,
congratulations.
So the voucher's going to be in the office, so just drop in and see Ralph. He'll have the voucher
Uncle
for
Trev,
you, mate.
Come and see me, brother. And I've got to say that the basis of...
What a resounding success it was. Was that what you're going to say?
Yeah, well, I was going to get on to that.
Oh, right.
But I was going to say that Reedy actually dealt with, in his entry, he dealt with what was, we think, a pertinent point, and we have certainly been doing it in relation to the podcasting, and that is using the voices and thoughts of our members a lot more in the show. And what will be happening is a couple of things at the same time. We'll be going to air as we do every Sunday, but podcasting will also be going on to the internet, and that will include a lot more material, no music, a lot more material involving interviews with our members. And in fact, one of the gang, String Bean, who doesn't actually get his voice on air too often, he hasn't got the same dulcet tones that we have, the old String Bean is actually out there in Tassie at the moment, interviewing members of the union down in Hobart.
Did he get there? Because he flew out the other night when that big windstorm was going. I'm tipping he might have ended up in New South Wales. It was blowing that way.
I think actually it was a northerly, so he probably ended up at Macquarie Island. But anyway.
Well, you wouldn't use String Bean for a counterweight, would you?
No.
Not a lot.
You wouldn't go windsurfer with a String Bean. You'd end up in Tassie.
Anyway, the String Bean is doing it. Uncle Trevor had his entry basically was around how to involve the membership and the thoughts, and comments of the membership, and I think that's a damn fine point, which is why he won it, not so much the criticism of buzzer.
And I believe for those that entered that didn't win, that entered, we'll be sending out an envelope with some new 3CR stickers and fridge magnets for all those who entered the competition and never actually won it. That's right, yet.
You haven't got them. If you haven't got them in the next couple of weeks, ring Robbie Gorman.
That's right.
Jeez, you dobbed him
Who's
in.
he?
You dobbed him in, Colin. Jeez. Anyway, moving right along, Trevor Reid, Uncle Trev, is the winner, and we're now going to go to a track, a little local band, the Warranes, and Taking on the World, and it sounds like a theme song for the CFMEU.
You don't fight, you lose. Concrete gang, here to stay. You don't fight, you lose. Dare to struggle, dare to win.
We'll fight for our rights, that's what we do.
And there it was.
And there it was, Taking on the World, a possible theme song for the CFMEU, certainly the Concrete Gang.
Definitely.
Righto. Now, just quickly, a few issues to mention, and we go on to a fairly extensive scallywag list. Compliance. Now, we do rabbit on about, Colin, don't we?
We do.
We do rabbit on about compliance, but this time of year, compliance takes on another aspect, and that is if your funds are not up to date, coming up to Christmas.
Smell a rat.
Smell a rat, indeed. It's a big chance that your Christmas pay may not be there because a few people, and we'll come to that in Scallywags, a few people are finding trouble paying wages. And if they're having trouble paying wages, they won't be paying compliances either. That's the giveaway. And your Christmas pay might be in some danger. So if you think there's something not quite right, if you start noticing not only is there a problem with the compliances, but your pay might be a day late or something like that, and you think, oh, it doesn't really matter. Guess what? It's usually a damn good indicator that over Christmas, as every year, it happens every year, a few people suddenly go into liquidation and your money goes out the door and it's a long wait before we can recover it. So, folks, just have a think about it.
We've just had a news flash too, so we haven't got all the details. Another major crane accident. We're not sure that a needles dropped 15 floors on a job in South Melbourne. It's a creamer job. So it's just another sign, Christmas time, things are happening. It's just, it's just a message we're trying to get out there. Just take it easy, slow down a bit, ring the union if they're pushing, because that's another creamer job. And you know the history with creamer. The last job we had with the major, probably the biggest industrial accident we've had when no one got killed.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Now, just moving along to another favourite, Grocon. Grocon had a bit of an incident up in Queensland on their job at the Commonwealth Games Village, and we understand that their anti-union stance is continuing in Queensland as it does in Victoria. A lot of people are talking about what they're being told by Grocon, how Grocon's going to do their next job in the city. So, folks, watch this space because they haven't gone away and the problems are going to continue. And last but not least, the EBA. A lot of companies have already started the process of negotiation with the union, and a lot more have been saying, oh, well, you can't deal with us, you have to deal with the MBA. Well, unfortunately for them, we don't have an agreement with the MBA. We have an agreement with those companies. Who they choose to consult, who they choose to have involved in their negotiations is all very well, but those companies will be negotiating their EBAs as per the Fair Work Act. And of course, don't want to negotiate, guess what? Opens the union's opportunity to seek protected action. So coming up to Christmas, it might get a little bit more exciting yet.
That's my favourite protected action.
Oh,
I love that.
Oh,
I can't sleep at night. You know, you think of something beautiful. A lot of people think of Tats Lotto. I think of protected action. Oh, mate, I love it. Protected action, beautiful.
Righto.
I'm drifting off now.
Yeah, just protect that action.
So that's what
20.
happens when you're up all night checking the entries.
Out the door for 24. Out the gate for 48. Shoot through for 72.
Oh, down memory lane. Righto, let's deal with a Scallywags because they're in our recent memory.
We've got to go to the Sooks first, don't we, before the Scallywags?
Well, I was going to start off with a sook.
Okay.
A special mention and nomination for Scallywag, Michael Clemenger.
Young Michael is...
Mike.
Wow.
Mike. You're sooked up again and you hardly got a mention. So guess what? You got double.
Now you're going to get a spray. Now, instead of sooking about getting a mention, I think you should get your mate Yap Yap and all them those people you got sitting on their bums down in South Road and Moorabbin there on the job down there because went down there the other day, form work, no handrail, no access to it, no handrails, kickboards, nothing, not even tags on the electrical boards. I mean, do you want me to go on? How long we got? It's only a half-hour show. So instead of sooking about that, mate, get off your shiny ass and get down the jobs and have a look what's going on, mate. Very ordinary.
Like a scene from The Castle.
Yeah,
hey,
well.
We'll need more than Dennis Denudo to pull you out of that one.
Righto. Now, who else have we got? Adco.
Listen,
Perennial.
I'll tell you what. If you want to go broke, just become a subby on one of their jobs. They hold the record of sending subcontractors broke. So if you're pricing a job for them at the moment, think twice about it because if you have a look at their history, there's a pathway of skeletons along the road.
And let's head to a well-known subby, Soulcrete.
Oh, the perennial.
Hey,
boys aren't paid again.
Boys aren't paid again.
It's the bank's fault.
It's always the bank's fault.
I'm tipping there was no money in the bank.
Righto, we're in a situation where Soulcrete haven't paid their blokes on time as they are required to do. Yet again. And as always, we apply the award, and that means that blokes are entitled to not work and receive double time till such time as their pay is actually put into their bank accounts. And you might say, well, what's it really matter? Well, if you've got a mortgage and you haven't paid by the required time, you are subject to a penalty. So it does mean something when you're not paid.
Yep.
Moving right along, McConnell Dow, Freycinet, a couple of absolute gems of the construction industry down at Webb Dock. We have got members who have been hospitalised due to carbon monoxide poisoning. We have had issue after issue, entry denied, arguments, mucking around. In the end, I'll be fair, WorkSafe in this state got down there and finally started dealing with the issue. But I tell you what, Freycinet, I wouldn't work for them if I was paid twice the money. They are absolute shockers how they treat their blokes. That what they're asking people to do in confined space, working in water, not boots getting a bit wet, water up to your waist, in a situation where it is added to confined space, you're working above your head with jackhammers and so on. Hey, that's ancient history stuff. Righto, last but not least, Valio.
Oh.
Down Beaconsfield Parade, come on.
Lifting.
Not only do you start early, outside the council times, but...
Mate, lifting panels. They put one up, didn't brace it properly, went next door, hit the flats next door, damaged the flats next door. I mean, anything could have happened. Someone could be lying in bed with a precast panel on top. So, up to their old tricks again. So, Valio, the old story. So, anyway, thanks for the boys for taking action again. That was fantastic. Marching off the job for a 24. We can still do that. So, good on you boys and keeping the eye right on Valio because, I mean, these mobs, the old Jim and his gang and all that, the fly-by-nighters, they've had bosses coming and going, all sorts of scallywags working their jobs, non-EBA mobs and shit carters from the housing industry. I'll tell you what, their day's coming.
Well, Jimmy, enjoy. Go out in the same old way, dare to struggle, dare to win.
Hang on. Who won it?
Oh, sorry. Oh,
You've gone a bit early, mate.
I've gone early.
We'll give it the Valio.
Valio!
Well done, Jim. Enjoy your kebab. Hope you choke on it.
Now we'll go at the same old way.
Dare to struggle?
Dare to win.
If you don't fight, you lose. Good morning from the Concrete Gang.
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.